It's at what age should I let my kids have social media accounts? Because at least for you and I growing up,
It wasn't a
social
thing.
media, it wasn't a thing. Like MySpace was starting to become a thing when towards the tail end of my high school experience, but even then I wasn't like I had a MySpace, but I didn't really
I
spend any
invented
time
social
on it.
media. There, I said it.
Yeah, I wasn't on Facebook until uh 20. I think I was 20, 19 or 20. And so yeah, but there is, like anything with the internet, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad when it comes to social media.
I heard though, sometimes you got to take the good, sometimes you got to take the bad, but that's just the facts of life. Oh, I
Okay.
hate millennials so much. John, Devo's laughing his butt off at that joke. Phil, maybe. That was a good one.
Allegedly.
I'll allow it.
Oh man. So at least for us, my oldest is 13 and he is not on like, I guess it depends on how you define social media, because some people include Discord in that, and so my boys are on Discord. But when I think social media, I think of things like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and so my boys are not on any of those platforms, and I right now the plan I believe is to wait until they're 16 to let them hop on there, because there's just I've heard way too many stories of cyberbullying and other things, and just kids that have unsafe practices regardless of how much you teach them, and
Right.
so we're planning on waiting until at least 16 before we let them into that realm.
I'm going to say good luck with that. Because kids now, there's a very good chance your kids will honor that. Um, but sometimes kids find a way and they do their own thing. I personally wanted my kids to stay away from any kind of secret accounts. I definitely, technically speaking, on pretty much all social media in the U.S., I believe Australia passed a rule that said it was 16 or 18. Some other countries are moving to pass rules to say 16 or older kind of deal. But in the U.S., it's 13. So technically speaking, nobody under the age of 13 should have an account. But life finds a way. What I
Yep.
did with my kids, because everybody seeks connection and everybody has the 2 fiber gigabyte jealousy line in them somewhere. So their friends are doing it. So they want it because there's a lot of parents who don't care. And my older kids, because TikTok wasn't a thing, that they had Musically, which became TikTok, but they showed it to me as they discovered, and they were 13, 14, I think, when Musically came out. They were showing it to me. I'm like, okay, that was my whole thing. It's a relationship. It's a talking point. I found other ways for them to connect with their friends on ways I can monitor. There used to be a chat app called Kick that was good for kids.
Hmm.
But ultimately, they, I'm not as worried because there's still some more. I'm not as worried about the cyberbullying because we keep them
Because
isolated
you're their
from
biggest
the
bully.
numerous. Yeah, pretty much. You know, Brad Williams, I think the short person comedian talks about how dad made him tough because his dad. And he told him he did it intentionally. Like, I'm gonna be your bully so that whenever you meet real bullies, they're nothing.
There's a song
Yeah.
about that by Johnny Cash.
Um.
A boy named Sue.
Yes. Yes. Because there's another one by Kenny Rogers that's similar. Anyway, um, The should is the hard part. It is individual to your kid and what they can and can't handle. Crosby, as she was technically old enough to have these accounts, definitely was the one that got into drama with her friend groups. And you know, we did a time when we let the kids go to public school. I had to break Zoe's heart the other day because she tried some crap on me. I was like, I'm gonna let you know right now, I don't care how much you resist homeschool, I will just fail you and make your life miserable and make you will never go to public school. Because we tried it with the first set for real. Like they went for a few years. Problem. And I'm still having to sit at home and teach you. Done with that crap. Ryland barely had to touch the school to play on the sports, and the sports treated him like crap. Horrible. It was like official bullying. It was horrible. So I told him, Zoe, you're never going. But yeah, Crosby definitely got into drama with some cyberbullying, people doing it to her. I guarantee you, she's my kid. She did some to other people, even though I didn't see it. And that's the harder thing is I want to be able to see their account. So that's the only real rule we've had. If you have an account, you need to let us know what it is. And we've built trust with that. I don't go in and judge her content. I just make sure she's not doing anything that makes her a bad human being. And however you define that. I mean, I think it's kind of, we can all agree in areas what bad human beings are. And that's what I look for. I don't appreciate everything she does on it. To that end, like I wanted Ryland I wanted to share videos of his interests and send that. So I got him. Oh, no, that's what it was. Not the videos came later. It was the MetaQuest. We were gifted a Oculus 2 at one point, and I wanted him to be able to have his own account because he had different interests in games. I had to set up, at the time, a fake account, basically, because he wasn't old enough. Now you can set up a kid's account and let them have that, but that wasn't available even a few years ago when this happened. And he was like 10. But I said, I don't want you on Facebook. This is for you to play the game. And he did okay with it because he just doesn't care. I am more worried about YouTube because they got onto YouTube. All my kids, without my knowledge or permission, found ways to get on YouTube. So then it's just about corralling it and going, okay, Malachi, Jebby, Bob's, you listen to me. What has been seen can never be unseen. And you bless your little hearts. We all did this. As the internet was born, we all did this. We want to believe humans are good people. They are not. That you will think you're following something that's, oh, this looks like a fun video. And it's like the meme from the end of Wreck-It Ralph with the girl watching the bunny video and it pops and she screams. That's the internet. Even in the good videos, that's the internet. So that's what I try to teach my kids. And I try to teach them it's not real. It is, but it isn't. People would sit here, they'll, like this Crosby, they'll sit here and they'll stir you to watch the drama, but they won't do it to your face. Because you're my kid, and as much as I wish you won't do that, you'll punch somebody in the face if they said that to your face. That's who we are. I don't know, man. It's the shit part that's throwing me off here. Because I agree with you. I would love if my kids, if they were 16, hey, I taught you to drive a car. Here's the keys to the car you get to use. Here's your first cell phone so you can find maps and stuff. And now we're kind of ready because you're more out in the world. Now we're kind of ready to ease you into social media and seeing how that goes. Because it's also tougher in my house than I think in your house. Because I have lived this digital media life from the beginning. You know, before my kids were born, it's all they've known is strangers coming in to the house and hanging out and, you know, doing the, you know, now it's the backyard thing with the Dragon Con, but I've always done stuff like that. Now it's, oh, my dad's talking to this famous person. Now it's, oh, they go with me to this event because I need to watch them and just sit here and be quiet. It's, they were raised in this world. So telling them you can't have a phone or social media until you're 16, they were going to find a way. And I think that's more of the conversation. Honestly, it's about to have you need to have the conversation with your kids. And I know we talked a couple weeks ago about Malachi wants his own phone and
Yep.
phone line, and I get it. It's something you can't teach. It's so hard to teach of patience for when you're ready. And let me tell you, when you think you're ready, you ain't ready. It's when you realize you're not ready that, okay, now we're ready. I used to think, Joe, here's a little side note. We'll end it unless you got something else to say about this. But the side note is, when I was 12, I'm like, they should lower the driving age to like 12 because I'm great, because I drove that truck across the back, my friend's back 40 farm field just fine, and I drive a go-kart just fine, and I'm great at Mario Kart half the time. I should be able to drive at 12
half the time.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
But I fully believed in my head, well, this is just wrong. I should be able to drive at 12. I got in that car, started actually training at 15, and this is a different world now. It's a lot more people, a lot more crazies out there. So yeah, and that's the truth in life. When you go, maybe I'm not ready, you're probably a lot more ready than you think you are. When you go, oh, I'm ready,